Hi everyone. So today's video, what I want to do is go through my thought process on as a new YouTuber, what gears to get, and well, essentially what gear I got and what gears I'm gonna stick with. So as all of you guys probably started is probably with your phone, and that's exactly what I did. I started with my phone. And then as my phone progressed, my images, when you film with your hand, it's not as stable. So then I started getting a gimbal, and I got the Osmo 6. And even then, if you see some of my footage, it doesn't work at night with the phone as well. So that's where it leads us to the next, which is the camera and stuff. So I progressed from the phone. So from the phone, I was thinking of using my old camera. I have a DSLR, and so I'm attaching the Rode to it. I saw a lot of YouTubers use Rode, and so I got a Rode. And I guess not all Rodes are made equal. So this one didn't pick up because I was trying to pick up music. It wasn't doing as well. So instead, I got a Sennheiser instead. So this is what I got instead. So a Sennheiser with wind covering. But I progressed with camera, and so my camera selections started with the ZV-E10 because it seemed like a lot of bloggers were using that, and I got that as well. I tried it. I It was very light. It was very portable. The problem is that stabilization, the active stabilization, were not good, and so you had to use a catalyst browse. And I'm gonna show you. Catalyst browse is usable, but it's not convenient. So you would run that, and it will run for hours to process a very small file. So it's not realistic. You can't really use it. It's just another layer, more time wasted. So time equals money. So that's where it leads. The other thing with the ZVE10, it had a very big flaw, which when I was researching, I was not aware of it, but now I am aware of it. It's called a shutter wave. And so essentially, when you move the camera really fast, trees or things that straight will look like this. It looks like a wave. And so it's not very professional. And so the CVE10 has that. So hence it's called the studio camera because it works well in the studio. When you take it out in the field, you get some unprofessional things that happen. And so that leads me to getting, looking at the Z8, looking at the A7R5 and the A7R4. Here's my thought process. So the A74Z8 and A7R5 is heavy and bulky. Um, and the other thing is, most YouTubers that start out, we don't have a lot of cash on hand. So everything is out of pocket. Um, that's why my thought process, I went with the A7 III. It's about 1500. From it includes the lens 28 to 70, which is very ideal. 28 to 70 millimeters covers all our needs, and so that's what I got. And I'll show you the camera and the flaws that it has. Okay. So the camera comes in a box um, with the lens, like so. It's not too heavy. It is heavy, but not too heavy, in my opinion. But if you have to carry it for an extended amount of time, it will become an issue. But essentially, you would attach this to this. The frames, the lens work perfectly. The problem with the A7 III, and I asked this there was a guy who was doing a wedding photography, and he was using an A7 III. The problem with the A7 III for our YouTube blogging need is that the screen is like such. It only flips out like this. It doesn't fold out, so you can't do this. So when you're filming yourself, you can't see that you're in frame or not, or any changes. The other thing with the A7 III is that I noticed when I was focusing from one object to the next, it took a while for the autofocus to adjust. That's a big problem. So the focus was very slow. A7 IV, I didn't go to it because it's 1,000 up. It's about 2,500 with the lens and kit, and I'm not sure if I want to handle something like this. And also the stabilization is not as good. So yeah, I thought I was kind of stuck with this, but I found I think what is my ideal camera is the A6700, and so I'm ordering it and it's gonna be coming. But the A6700 is lighter than this, so this is 1.4 pounds. The A6700 is only 1 pound, and it has a flip screen that I can see, and it's lighter, and this is a full frame. So the A6700 is an APS-C, which is a lighter. It's lighter. Its lens is lighter as well. So in terms, and that's what attracts me to the ZV-E10 in the first place, because the whole setup is way lighter. And so I'm gonna give a A6700 a try, and I think it should do the job. The pictures for the Sony came out really good, and so yeah. In terms of other things, when new YouTubers start out, got a laptop, also has to invest in that, and if you're looking for a laptop, you would aim for a gaming laptop, because gaming laptops are known to have really good graphics card. So look for a gaming laptop. The other thing that new YouTubers have is we get a lot of gas, and so I certainly have that, and I'm going to show you. Like this, a lot of gear, just like microphones. Microphones for the laptop. Because the lens was not perfect, I was thinking of getting a telephoto lens, and so I was trying to something like this, but this is gonna be a gas overload. The way how this attaches to the phone is very inconvenient. So to use it everyday application, I think it's not gonna work. The items that I have is a gimbal, and if you haven't got already, this thing is so useful. It's extra battery pack. When you're using a gimbal, I guess for the phone, this comes in very handy because it charges your phone, it charges your gimbal, and it charges your device. But yeah, I was thinking this thing. This thing is useful because when I was filming and it was started to rain, on the camera, what will happen is when it rains on the camera lens will fog up. So this thing is so that I can attach this to a tripod, and then this will attach to a umbrella. And so umbrella works the best for the case when you have rain. So that's where this things come from. And so this is my new gadget. It's a phone case, so I can play underwater, and so I can film underwater. And this is probably the reason why I chose the A6700, because the A6700 had the stabilization that is ideal for handheld. You don't need the extra catalyst browse. You don't you know, the active stabilization is sufficient. This is the reason why I left the A7 III series, and I didn't even bother with the A7 IV, which is the latest camera. I got the Ronin SC, and so I was thinking that, well, you know, I want good images, I want stable images, and I got the DJI Ronin SC. It's light, right? Not exactly. So the package comes in so. This is what you're gonna get with the Ronin SC. The problem is that this thing is 3 pounds. And so theoretically, 3 pounds doesn't feel like nothing. Doesn't feel like anything. But in the field, when you're out there filming and you're holding this thing for extended amount of time, and this is just by itself, it's already pretty heavy. So you imagine like a heavier camera going on here, and then you're holding this for an extended amount of time. And on top of that, what I did was I used it and noticed that the battery drains really fast on this thing. And so I don't want to worry about battery running low when I'm out in the fields, the heaviness of it. If I'm not using it, I'm putting it in the backpack, which I'm lugging around. Yeah, so this, and then when I was setting it up, it's not a plug and play. It's actually a lot of steps going into setting this up. So I see that a lot of you know, wedding photographers, they use this or for professional settings, but for, I don't know when I will need something like this, but to lug this around and to travel around in it, I don't know, it's less than ideal for me. So hence this changed my mind in terms of having a gimbal for the camera, because the camera is heavy, the gimbal adds additional weight, and here you are just kind of lifting weight all day long. Yeah, so